Okay, folks. So this is Senior Master Coordinator Bob Ferguson, and this is the business of health. And tonight, our guest is Kim Wise, who has been involved in Shaklee for 19 months, and we'll hear about her additional experience in network marketing. She is an executive coordinator with 5 leaders on her recap, and I'd say that's a pretty good accomplishment for 19 months in the business. And one of the coolest things about her, she's also from Iowa. This is like an all Iowa lineup for speakers tonight. So Kim, you're a school teacher and your husband's a farmer. And so tell us a little bit about you and tell us about how you found Shaklee.
Thank you for having me tonight. I am humbled to be among you. I was telling Bob, I feel like such a Shaklee baby. I have so much to learn. And to be with you, the greats, it is humbling. So I'm like Bob said, I'm Kim Wise. I'm from Southwest Iowa, so near Harlan, which you all know Jeff is from. Yep. And I grew up here. Actually, I grew up about 7 miles away in Hancock, Iowa. Now we live outside of Avoca, Iowa. I married my high school sweetheart. We celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary. And we have 4 kids, 18, 21, 24, 27. The oldest is married, and the 3 girls, one lives in Austin, the 2 others are in college at Iowa State and KU. I was a teacher. I was an elementary teacher and middle school teacher in Shelby, Iowa, and that school is now closed. And now I teach teachers. So this is my 21st year with our area education agency, where I am a science consultant. So I teach teachers in the areas of science curriculum assessment and instruction. So that's like my personal life. My multi-level marketing life, I was with, prior to Shaklee, I'd been with Beachbody for 5 years. And I had worked my way up to a 2-star diamond there. Beachbody is set up way different than Shaklee. So I won't go into it, but it's a house of cards. You have to keep everybody eligible every week. Anyway. But I had built my business at Beachbody. It's, everybody knows it for fitness because of the infomercials on different workout programs. But what they also have is the 2B Mindset, which is a very common sense weight loss program. And I had built a group. I was the leader of our team in the 2B Mindset and ran our group, and we had over 600 people, and with great success, like great success at 2B Mindset. So that was an ongoing group. So I posted to those 600 people every single day. And in addition to that, I was running lots of other groups, keeping everybody active. It was nuts. But I was comfortable, right? I'd been doing it for 5 years. I knew what I was doing. Their product line is very, very small. There's just not much to know. So you show up, you work out, you drink your shake, and you eat your vegetables, because that's what 2B Mindset was. So when my upline is Christy Lyons. So you might have seen her speak at conference. She's incredible. She's a very, very hardworking, generous, thoughtful, empowering leader. And I was like in her down line at Beachbody. So I was like 4 or 5 levels down. But I was running our 2B Mindset group. I was still under her, and she took care of all of us, no matter how far down you were. So we were going to plan a Beachbody retreat trip to wherever, I can't remember. Orange Beach. It was Orange Beach. It was fabulous. And she told me she was leaving Beachbody, but she'd still be going on this Orange Beach trip. And it just I died. She was super successful at Beachbody. Like, she had a great big team. I just could not believe she was leaving. And and she's like, would you like to hear about Shaklee and come with me? And I'm like, well, God bless, but no, thank you. I was like, I'm good. I'm a 2-star diamond. I know what I'm doing. sounds like a lot of work. And I'm like, no, thanks. But then I went home and I Googled you all, right? Like, you need to know more. I'm like, what? Who, I mean, I vaguely have this vague recollection of my mom using Shaklee sometime in my life, probably basic age. I can't even remember hardly. It's just super vague. And, but you know, the more you learn, and then she's very persistent. Like, she will keep in touch with you and talk to you, and you don't even know, like she's planting seeds, planting seeds, planting seeds. She's a master. So she's like, you know, they just want to talk to you. Would you talk to, I can't remember. I had to listen to these. You want to talk to Robbie? Robbie wants to talk to you. Well, okay, well, let's talk to Robbie. And then she's like, well, Robbie has a counter. Joe wants to talk to you. I'm like, okay, let's talk to Joe. Well, you know, after I talked to a few people, like, and they answered every single question. I've been a science consultant and then a science teacher for 30 years. Like, I had tons of questions. I had notebook pages full of questions, and they just answered everything, like every yeah, but they had an answer for. It's very irritating. They were so nice and so patient. And I finally said yes. So I'm so glad I did. 19 months later, here I am.
That is so great. That is so great. So, I mean, you intimated some of the reasons why you came over, but if you had to name the top 3 reasons that brought you from Beachbody to Shaklee, what would they be?
Oh, top 3. Well, number 1, I think it was the people. Like, I was able to talk to several, like I was one of the first distributors at Christie Sign. So I did have that luxury of talking to a lot of people, and everyone was so kind, knowledgeable, generous. Like, and from Beachbody, nobody knew who I was. Like, not one person at corporate would know Kim Wise. And here I was talking to, you know, Kevin Crandall. Like, who am I that a regional sales manager wants to talk to? Like, it was so crazy that I got to talk to Kathy Keating. You know, like, it was weird to me that like all these corporate level people would talk to a peon that Christie wanted to bring over. Like, so it was the people. And then I met all like you people, and it's just been crazy ever since. Is there a mean Shaklee person alive? Because I have yet to meet that person. Nothing but generosity and kindness and intelligence. Like, oh my gosh, the brain power of these people. The second thing I think that sold me was the science. I loved that everything was backed by science. I love the scientific studies. I love that you publish the science. I love that you're proud of the science. And in relationship to that, the environmental science and saving our environment, and love all of that. And then I think I was this third one's hard because I have lots of ones I want to choose, but I'm going to say product line. And, you know, at Beachbody, the people we marketed to was very small. Even at I'm 52, so even at 50, 51, I felt like I was aging out at Beachbody. I was absolutely one of the oldest people. Absolutely. Other than the nutrition only people, I was the oldest, like, fitness kind of oriented person. And you had this many products to share. So when I was looking at Shaklee's product line, there's not a human being that we can't help. Like, there are products for everyone. So I was really, and the highest quality products for everyone. So, and I don't know if anybody knows about the Enneagram, but I am an Enneagram 1. So I'm my high standards for myself and others, and ethics are huge for me. And so that this company was such an ethical company really spoke to me. So that might have been 3+.
Well, yeah. Well, you live a little bit. You can have 1 or 2 extras. That's fine. So yeah. So that's really, really heartening. So you're building your organization, you're building a business, and these talks are aimed at people who have been involved with Shaklee for a while, because it's really wonderful to hear from some dynamic new leaders. It's also aimed at brand new people who are kind of looking at Shaklee and saying, okay, is this the kind of outfit I want to be involved with? So why don't we talk about what does your Shaklee day look like as a rising leader, which now you have leaders in your organization. What does your Shaklee day look like? How do you actually go about doing this thing?
Yeah, that's a great question because I work full time and when I was at Beachbody and then I think growing the same type of business, I had kids at home, like they were high school aged kids. So we were busy all the time. I think working my Shaklee business, though, feels more like a hobby to me in the sense that I do it because it's fun. I enjoy it. So I was telling some of my downline that I wake up, this is so nerdy and I apologize. I wake up.
We can nerd out, can't we? Okay, everyone. Yeah, we can nerd out.
I wake up thinking Shaklee. I go to bed often thinking Shaklee. Throughout my day, I think, how is Shaklee benefiting me right now? And what would people want to hear about Shaklee Wise right now? So even though I work for the AEA, so I wake up, I scroll I reply to social media. I think about what I want to post that day. And that's my main posting will be first thing in the morning. I will post on my VIP. I have a Shaklee VIP group. Those are all like potential and current customers that are just interested in being in there. I post in that every day and it is just, blatant Shaklee. Like they know they're getting Shaklee.
Yeah, right.
And then I have my own personal Facebook feed. I don't always post on my feed every day. It depends on what post I've had on there. So yesterday I had I felt exciting post about my eye doctor appointment. And anyway, that's a whole nother track. So I'll let that go because that's still getting likes and comments. But I post on my Facebook stories throughout the day. So even though I'm working on my AEA job, if I'm taking a break from AEA work and I'm having a sustained energy tea, I'll share that. Like I'll share Shaklee in the breaks of my day as they relate to my day, so.
Right.
Yeah. So then after work, I will make sure right now I'm on behalf of my team. We're hosting a October 3-week cleanse before and after challenge. So I'll post in there and schedule posts in there if I'm not going to be able to post the live piece. Mm-hmm. And then today, then after that, I did that today. And then after that, I followed up my eye doctor post had brought in me several meology assessments. So I followed up with my meology assessments and then looked forward to this.
Wow. Do you see the beads of sweat on her brow? That sounds like a kind of a fun business. Well, I posted,
it doesn't take long though.
And I post to my friends and
it doesn't take long for me. Because that's the part, like you were talking about this, Bob, too, like what I brought from the Beachbody world. I already had that skill set like that. I've already been posting for a lot of years. So the posting piece isn't hard for me to come up with. And I don't I have friends. I have a friend that took 2 hours to write a post today. That's not me. I am a 2-minute throw up, post it. And if I'm embarrassed a day later, I'll take it down, but I don't hardly ever do that. I just post and that because it's,
I don't know, Kim, I don't really find this, but sometimes the silly, embarrassing posts are the ones that really blow up, right?
For sure.
I'm glad I did that.
So I just feel like the more spontaneous and authentic, the better the post is anyway. So I don't overthink my posts. So I don't waste a lot of time that way. It's not a waste of time. I don't spend a lot of time that way.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's a key distinction that, both for anyone looking at this from the outside or for those of us on the inside, it's good to think through making the distinction between posting and then your stories. Your post is kind of more of a stake in the ground. Now, this is definitely do as I say, not as I do, because sometimes I don't make so much of a distinction. But I mean, it is really valuable to understand that you can post and then that's kind of your imprimatur. There's your stake in the ground for the day. There's the thing that is important for people to understand. Then you go over to stories and you talk about your tea and you talk about this and you talk about that. That's more of a dialogue with your world as you're going through your life.
Yeah,
And people like that kind of thing, don't they?
they do. Yeah.
People like to hear, and I think part of the trick is to understand that the details of our life, particularly if they're presented with a little bit of a twist or a little bit of something fun, is really a great way. And so that's primarily how you attract people to interact with, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever just do like, here, this is actually called a telephone. Do you ever actually pick it up and call someone?
Not very often. My kids.
Not very often. Okay, well, you should try that every so often.
I know. I know.
But okay, so really and this is something to think about, folks. She's been in the business for 19 months and is executive coordinator with 500 Recap. Okay, what can we learn from that? And what I've heard tonight, which I think I would underscore, is the absolute efficiency with which you do your business. Posting stories, follow up, posting stories, follow up, maybe challenge group, and then teaching other people to do the same thing. So let's talk about that. So we pretty much know what a day in the life of Kim and Shaklee looks like. So what does the day in the life of Kim, the Shaklee leader, working with other people look like?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I am thrilled to have 5 directors under me. I know that that's not a usual thing. I know that I am very, very blessed by that. I think the reason, one of my directors is a friend and came over from Beachbody, and she's just been she's been a director for a long time, and she's just happy to be there. That's it. That'll be it for her. Stacy Sharp, I don't know if some of you may have known Stacy. She's a go-getter, and I'm blessed. She's a unicorn. I hope you all have many, many unicorns, and I hope to have
at least one, right?
At least one, and she is a unicorn, such a hard worker, and she works gazillions of hours. And then I have signed recently a new unicorn, and she comes from Beachbody World, so I feel very blessed by her, and she feels very blessed by Shaklee. Like the reasons I said, I think she feels the same way. Like, wow, we work so hard at Beachbody, but now we come to Shaklee, and not only is this company super generous, but there's all of this huge product line that, how do you focus? And, it's just incredible. And then I have these two new directors that have just grown completely organically, completely on their own. Both work full time. One is an accountant, one is a nurse. She teaches nursing students. And I keep thinking, like, how did we do this? Like, how are we sustaining 5 people at 2,000 or more volume? In some cases more than, several thousand more than that. We have, so this is not magic. So we have a messenger group. So a messenger thread with all of us in it, including, like, I have a large handful of who I love, my 500 to 1,500 volume people. Like, I love them. Like, they are solid volume producers. They're in this group. My directors are in this group. And it's just like this hen house, like, like my grandma's name, like, we talk we talk whenever something say, we put it in there, we talk. So I think that's team building right there. And then we do have a team Facebook group, and in there I try to do more teaching. So I'll teach a little bit about social media, and I'll give ideas for social media, or how, like, yesterday, one of these days, I talked about how when you're doing stories on Instagram, your Instagram stories don't go over a minute, stop, have a graphic, and then if you have more to say, continue it after the graphic, because people have very short attention spans and they don't want to hear like I'm doing now. You don't want to hear so much long. You want it broke up. And I learned that from my middle schoolers too. You can only take so much. And then
seventh graders only have a certain attention span, right? Good,
so
good
teaching in the Facebook group, team building in the messenger thread. And then we just, my team is super, as I'm sure yours is too. They love each other and they are so happy for one another's, growth. And so when someone gets close or wants to get close, like everybody gets behind them and we just all push together and celebrate every single 10 PV sale if we have to.
That's great. Well, Kim, this has really been such a wonderful conversation. Is there anything else? I mean, we could be here for hours, and I'm sure that everyone would stick around and listen. But we want to have them come back. So let's just wrap up by saying just some final bit of wisdom, or maybe something you didn't get to say yet that you want to say, and then we'll wrap it up.
That you all need to know that you were such a gift to us. Like all the people that have been here less than 2 years, seeing if it weren't for you and all the graciousness that you have shown us, the people you probably know and the people on this call, no way any of us could have done this without you.
Well, very good. On that very happy note, Kim, thank you very much. We're going to watch your development with great interest, and I'm sure you're going to be back on the business of health in the future. So thank you all for being with us, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks when Dr. Nagy is going to be holding forth.